Ah, hello everyone. Welcome to my first 12:01 a.m. review from The Greatest American Hero. Tonight we're doing episode or season 1, episode 8. Uh, it was the last episode of the first full season of the show. They added more episodes in the next two seasons, 2 and 3. So this was their first attempt, and it seemed to have succeeded. There was a few good episodes that came out of this first season, including this one tonight. It's called The Best Desk Scenario. And the word scenario was used a lot. Oh, hey, how's it going, Sci-Fi Sif Dan? Good to see you. Hello there. Yeah, thank you, sir. I also said I appreciated all those who are waiting for me to start. So thank you so much. Yeah, thank you very much. Um, so yeah, in this episode, um, this is where uh, Robert Culp, who plays Bill Maxwell, the FBI guy, he uses this word scenario a lot. For example, because of the episode being called that, he figures it's the best case job that he'll get in the FBI. If he gets to become the head of the FBI, which I don't think he ever reached because Carlisle, unfortunately, is the head of it for his division there in LA, in Los Angeles. But otherwise, he always came up with this idea that if it was a good scenario and things were going well, best thing, stuff like that. Or in this case, the best case scenario. But if things were going really badly, that'd be the worst case scenario, right? So, just the way that he worded it, the way that things went, yeah. So I'm so glad to be here. I hope you folks are enjoying your night still, an hour behind me. Uh, in the central time zone, a couple hours behind me in the west coast time zone, and about 2 hours behind me over in the mountain zone. And then wherever you are in England, believe you're like 5 hours ahead of us over in the UK. So it's about like 5 in the morning there for some of you. And then way like in the afternoon, uh, I'd say like in the afternoon over in like Australia, New Zealand, all those areas. Yeah. So wherever you are, I'm glad you're here tonight. I've got 2 likes already. I was one of those likes. So I had a feeling this was going to be a good one tonight. And I do have one person watching, which is Sci-Fi Sedan so far. So thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let's get started. So, as I said, it's called The Best Desk Scenario. Now, the basic plot is Pam and Ralph get promotions, and Bill begins to worry about his mistakes and mortality. Now, Pam's new lawyer boss is mixed up with the mob, and the team must rescue her and Bill's career. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? This episode premiered on Wednesday, May 13th, 1981. Okay. Alrighty then. So, we had Michael Pare, who came back as Tony Villicana. William Frankfather was Chet Canopy. Michael Ensign was Principal David Kane. Rob Coldman was Theodore Svensson. Eric Server was Kyle Morgan. And Eugene Peterson Clarence played the role of Clarence Carter. You had Robert Culp, William Catt, Connie Selick, of course. Now, the one I pointed out in this episode was an actor named Duncan Redger, who played Palmer Bradshaw in this episode. And I just wanted to emphasize Duncan here real quick. Now, Duncan was born in Lethbridge, Alberta. He was raised in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, so he's Canadian. In his youth, he distinguished himself as a champion figure skater then had his own radio program at age 16. He was also an Olympic boxing contender and a classically trained Shakespearean stage performer in his native Canada before tackling Hollywood in 1980, where he began to develop his work in film. From 1986 to the present, Duncan has continued to paint, write, and film throughout the world. Now, a couple of the movies he's known for, of course, he played the role of Charles in the series V. He played Charles for 4 episodes in that series. He was on the TV series of Wizards and Warriors back in 1983. He was in 8 episodes of that, where he played Prince Dirk Blackpool. He was in the Monster Squad in 1987, where he played the role of Count Dracula. And then there was a movie that didn't do so well called Flying Virus, where he played the Savior from 2001. So, and then in one episode of a podcast series called Trek Untold in 2021, he appeared for one episode there. So, yeah, good stuff there for Duncan Redger. Okay. So now we'll get to the show itself here. Okay. Alrighty. I hope you're enjoying this sift in. Okay. Well, it looks like we only have one trivia thing. Cool. All right. So a subplot involves Bill worrying about his mortality after a colleague that was his age died of a heart attack. Robert Culp would live until the year 2010, passing away at age 79 from a heart attack. At the time of this episode, Culp was 50 years old. So, yeah, you never know the time, the date, whenever a heart attack comes. You hope it never happens to you, but then again, you also hope it never happens to any of your family, your friends, and so forth. It is the worst feeling in the world. Okay, there was a few things here. It's all continuity mistakes. Okay, so the first one was during the montage, Bill is shown lying on the bed and looking at the ceiling fan. The final shot is an upper body shot of him with fan blades turning, but the shadow includes a metal screen around the blades from a freestand or desk fan rather than a ceiling fan shadow. Okay. In the final scene, when the scene pulls away from the door of Ralph's office, the single sign on the door has Ralph's name in large letter and in smaller letters at the bottom of the same sign. Earlier, when Ralph and Pam are entering the office, there are two different slide on signs with larger letters. One, the upper, saying Ralph Hanley, remember, because he had to recast his last name character in the show as Hanley instead of Hinckley, for obvious reasons, because we told you about the near assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan by a Hinckley. And the lower one saying assistant principal. Yeah. Then in the opening scene, Ralph parks his car next to Bill's out in the desert. Now, after Ralph accidentally sets Bill's car on fire as he's practicing pyrokinesis, they run off to take shelter. In the long shot of Bill's car exploding, Ralph's car has disappeared. Oh, wow. All right. And then the last one is when Bill is in Palmer's office after arresting the two thugs who kidnapped Pam. Palmer writes a note to himself to circulate, excuse me, a memo discussing the misuse of federal jurisdiction. Now, after writing the note, he puts the pen back in the pen holder. Palmer then stands up and walks out of the office. The camera angle changes to show the top of the desk, and the pen is laying on it next to the note. It should have been back in the pen holder. So, even minor mistakes. Yeah. Alrighty. Now, there were two locations this was filmed at. Now, after Bill is thrown off the case, he drives Ralph west on Ventura Boulevard, and south side of the street is visible past Bill. So that location is 17,530 Ventura Boulevard in Los Angeles. Then there's some junkyard scenes, which were filmed outside of L.A. at the 12,000 block of Branford Street, Sun Valley. So in Sun Valley, outside of Los Angeles, California. Sun Valley is a nice area, actually. I've been through there once or twice. It's pretty cool. Alrighty. Now we'll get to our quotes. Let's see here. Okay. Wow. There's a lot of quotes tonight. This is cool. Okay. So here's a scene between Ralph and Bill. Ralph says, "What are you looking for?" Bill says, "The sandwiches, Ralph. The Cokes. I don't see them." Ralph says, "That's because they're not there. Pam made them, but I just thought, well, I didn't have a chance to get over there and pick them up." Bill says, "Sometimes I don't believe you or the counselor. If Patton forgot the chow, it could have been Rommel's War. You know that?" Okay, so Ralph, after he accidentally blows up Bill's car, "Gee, Bill, maybe we shouldn't use that power for a while, huh?" Bill says, "How am I going to explain this down at the bureau? That I torched my own issued car?" Ralph said, "I'm sorry, Bill. I guess that makes 3 this year, huh?" Bill says, "Yeah. Oh, I'm going to need a defense. Where'd you say the counselor was?" Then there's another interplay between Ralph and Bill where Ralph says, "But I mean, talk about a terrific day. I get this vice principal thing, and Pam gets a junior partnership in the law firm." Bill says, "She what? She got what?" Ralph says, "Oh, yeah, it happened over lunch, but don't tell her that I know. I got the info from her secretary, Bill. I'm sure that's why she wanted us both over here, so she could tell us the good news." Bill says, "She got a secretary named Bill, same as me? Bill? Gee whiz. The world's getting to be a bad hockey match. No organization, bad trades. The good guys are all in the penalty box. Everybody's got secretaries named Bill." And then another one here where Bill says, "So then they bring in this Palmer Bradshaw kid." Ralph says, "So?" Bill says, "Ralph, the kid's name is Palmer. He is going to be the next deputy chief of the bureau. You can bank it. And he don't even shave regularly." Ralph said, "Well, I see what this is all about." Bill said, "You get to be principal. The counselor, she's a junior partner. Yours truly, Dumbo Maxwell, is chugging across the finish line, full up in the gallery, yelling down, 'Go, geezer, go!' This is skipping here. Oh, would you believe this?" Ralph says, "I don't believe it." Bill Maxwell, circuit rider tough guy, turns into Weeping Willie. Bill says, "I'm getting slow, Ralph. You can see it." Ralph says, "No, I can't." "Bill, I don't want to hear this. It doesn't suit you." Bill says, "I keep making mistakes." Ralph says, "Everybody makes mistakes, Bill." Bill says, I don't. I don't like it." Ralph says, "Welcome to the human race, partner. You can't go because we're the package, Bill. Those little green guys, they didn't pick us by accident. We're supposed to do this as long as it takes. How many times have you told that to me? We have to hold this thing together, Bill. It's you and me, and it's the suit against, yeah, that's right. Against what? Well, against the world. When it goes wrong, we fix it." Ralph says, "I can go in there and vibe the place out, see what's going on." Bill says, "Yeah, that's my scenario." Pam says, "It'd have to be when no one's around. Tonight, maybe. You want to come along, Bill?" Bill says, "Well, I guess I can chug around the track one more time for the counselor." Pam says, "We'll have to take your car, Bill, though. They may know what I drive." Bill says, "Oh, that's okay with me, but we're gonna have to wear our grubbies and push it." Ralph says, "Oh, we had an accident today. I blew up Bill's car." Pam says, "Bill's government issued car? That's 3 this year." And then Pam says, "No, this is going to be my new office. All the junior partners have offices like this." Ralph says, "Gosh, this is beautiful, Pam. Absolutely beautiful. I don't believe it. Isn't this gorgeous, Bill?" Bill says, "They give an office like this to a kid? A girl? Come on now, counselor. I wasn't born yesterday." Pam said, "No, it was more like 1880, wasn't it, Bill?" I just love these. Ralph says, "Hey, you guys, I got the whole thing solved. The whole thing. President's name is Hagman. There's a file. Spring Song Records. It's situated in a room that's very plush. There's a beautiful girl holding the." Pam shows Ralph the file he vibed when he was in the closet. Ralph said, "I want to go home." Ralph says, "I'm sitting in there in some guy's hat and raincoat, doing a holograph, and you guys are out here laughing at me. Sometimes I don't know I even try." And Bill says, "Now you know how I feel." Kyle Morgan says, "Now who is that guy? How did he do that?" Bill says, "Piece of advice, boys. If I were you, I'd forget about Peter Pan unless you guys are really into basket weaving." Chick Kennedy says, "Yeah, well, if it's bothering you that much, pal, then that's exactly what we're going to be talking about." Bill said, "If you take my advice." Kyle says, "Well, we're not taking your advice. We're going to tell it like it is, and maybe you're the one who's going to have some explaining to do." And Bill says, "Not only do we bust your senior law partner, but his principal client, an underworld guy in Tucson. It's a major federal bust. It's mine. It's my bust. It shines like a diamond in the Maxwell package. All is forgiven." "Well," Ralph says, "congratulations, Bill." Pam says, "Yeah, even though Ralph is the one that busted him." Bill Maxwell says, "Counselor, if I could wear those long johns, oh, you'd see who bust who." Ralph says, "Whom?" Bill says, "Huh?" Ralph says, "Who bust whom? Proper English." Pam says, "You sure?" Ralph says, "Sort of." And then Bill says, "What's the matter with him? I don't get this hostility, Ralph." Pam says, "I do. What happens to the suit?" Ralph says, "Yeah." "Oh," Bill says, "that. Well, I just thought we'd pack up the old footlockers, all three of us, and we head for Washington. There's where it's happening. There's more spies per capita than there are per capitas." Wow. Okay. And Sir Lemon says, "Hey, Mikey." "Hey, Sir Lemon Pie, good to see you." And Lemon says, "Desifdan," waves to him. "Hey, great that you're here, Lemon. Thank you so much for being here. We got 5 likes and we got 4 people watching. Fantastic. That's great." Okay. Well, I only have one more thing, and then I'll go ahead and give you guys my review and my grade and out of 5. So let's see soundtracks. Here we go. Okay. So I believe it's later on in season 2 where you're going to see Stephen Geyer is going to write a few more original compositions, original songs, and either he sings them or Joey Scarborough does. Um, so you may not see that. You may not have seen that a lot in the first season, but you will more often in the second season and the third season because the kids, uh, both Tony Villicana, like I said, played by Michael Pare, and Rhonda, his girlfriend, Rhonda Grant, played by Faye Grant, they're going to get into more situations. They're going to try out as a band. They're going to try out other things. It's going to be a lot more about them, and they will also, uh, Michael and Faye, will appear in the credits, the opening credits of the people's names, along with Connie and Robert Culp and William Cat. So make sure you guys, if you get a chance, like I said, um, Film Rise Productions has every single one of these Greatest American Hero episodes available right now on YouTube. So just check that out. Um, let's see here. So yeah, so the theme song, believe it or not, performed by Joey Scarborough there on this episode. Okay, alrighty. So, uh, like I said before, I did get to binge watch every one of these episodes, all 44 episodes from these series. And also, 4 years later, in 1987, they did or actually, I'm sorry, a year or so later, in 1987, yeah, um, they did The Greatest American Heroine, which was played by um, uh, the name of the lady that wanted to become Ralph's position to wear the suit. Her name was Holly Hathaway, but her real name was Deb Stewart, and she was only there for a pilot episode, and it never went anywhere. We'll get to that at the very end of my stuff here. Now, in a couple of days, I'm going to make another poll. By the way, one last reminder is that Red Dwarf did win our poll about what we should do as our next series after we're done one of the series here, the smaller seasons series. Now, I was thinking of doing Red Dwarf myself, either after I after I directly finish Greatest American Hero here and do it on Wednesday mornings, or I can do it Fridays. And Friday, I can do it Friday morning. That's not a problem. So, in a couple of days on Friday, this coming Friday, I will put up a poll. So, since, like I said, Red Dwarf won, I was going to ask you guys, do you want me to do it on Wednesdays, or is it better to do the webcam for the series on Fridays? We can do that. Now, what I've also planned on doing is on Saturday afternoons, we're doing Star Trek films right now. Now, we've done Wrath of Khan first because that was our favorite original series film. But we're going right back to the beginning and doing Star Trek the Motion Picture from 1979. Basically, the director's cut of that film is the best version of it. And that's going to come out this Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 o'clock p.m. Central. And it will be open panel and open chat. You guys can come up there, tell us your favorite memories of the motion picture. If you want to discuss it in more detail, we can. That is totally up to you guys. And then this coming Sunday, don't forget, we have our normal Sunday topic time, which usually follows a question of Trek, which they do earlier in the morning. And our topic times, open panel and chat, opens at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central, just like Saturday. And uh, what we're what we're probably going to go ahead and do is after we finish doing the Star Trek films, and I mean all 13 of them, yes, including the Jar Jar Abrams, Kelvin universe for the three movies. We're also going to do a review of Galaxy Quest, which they consider the unofficial 14th film as part of it. And they figure they're all in the same universe, so that's why they want to consider that film. And then after we're done with those, then we will go into the beginning of Star Trek, the original series. We'll start with episode 1, which is the cage, and then we'll go from there. And we're going to be doing TOS, the animated series, TAS. Then we'll be doing um, the you know the next generation. Then we'll be doing DS9. Then we'll be doing Voyager. We'll be doing Enterprise. And then, since a certain someone didn't want to do episodes with me on the Star Trek Continues, I will do Star Trek Continues, all 11 episodes from that series. And I'll give you my review and recommendations on those episodes. Those will be at the very end. So we should have a full lineup of everything going on this year. Yeah. So it should be fun. Sir Lemon says, getting to the chat here, believe it or not, George isn't at home. Believe it or not, George isn't at home. JPRPH1, Star Trek at T. Yes, yes. And MP is the best. Thank you, JP. I agree with you. Ever seen the young ones? Yes, Sir Lemon Pie. I have, gal. Lemon says, welcome to JPR, PH1. And yes, JPR says that the motion picture director's cut is the best. Yes. And we're going to examine that on this coming Saturday, JP. Uh, yeah. And JP even says Star Trek Continues is great. It is. It is. And as most of you know, my theory, which I do believe holds water, if you do, if the way I think about it is, if you go ahead and watch all three seasons of the original series, then you go ahead and watch the 22 or so episodes that came from the animated series. Okay? So you see where we're going with the pattern here. Your first three, the animated is basically season 4. And then if you want to stick with the original series and complete it, watch the 11 episodes from the fan film series of Star Trek Continues, which was considered canon by Eugene Roddenberry himself, Jr., and featured, oh, and don't forget there are some episodes that James Cawley did, uh, which he continued from Turnabout Intruder, which was the last of the original series episodes, and went on to do New Voyages and what would have been Phase 2. He did a couple of those, so make sure you check out those as well. And then when we go into the Star Trek Continues, which starts with Michael Forrest, who comes back as Apollo, um, from the original episode, which was Who Mourns for Adonai. We'll go into all 11 of those episodes, and it's really cool. And I've always said this: when you do the final 2 episodes of Star Trek Continues, which is called To Boldly Go, and it's about the Espers, which was like the people that they dealt with in the original series, where no man has gone before, with Gary Mitchell and right, and Sally Kellerman's Esper. So basically, that last two-parter leads right into Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and the big reason why is at the very end of episode 2, and by this time I'm saying this because I'm assuming almost everybody's seen Star Trek Continues, but at towards the very end, Vic Mignogna, who plays Captain James T. Kirk, is dressed up in an admiral's uniform. The same admiral's uniform that you see Shatner dressed up in the director's cut of the Star Trek The Motion Picture when it comes on. So it's basically a lead in. It's like from vroom, vroom, and it's right there. Yeah, and it's awesome. It is totally awesome. JPR says, Hail Lemon Pie. And JPR says, yeah, I did. I watched season 3 when I was 6 in 1969. Wow. Yeah, the fan films. Yeah, they're great. Yeah. Yeah, we're greats. Yes. Yes, they are. So that's what we plan on doing on Saturdays. Like I said, after we get through, it's going to take all year to do it. So that's why I say till the end of the year, we'll be doing them on Saturdays. And if anybody wants to come and give their views about a particular film or a particular episode, but we got to know who you are. I mean, you've got to have something established in the YouTube community. You may not have to have a lot of, you know, uh, videos you've posted of yourself and stuff. But if you do have some kind of material there, or whatever, we have to know who you are. Because nowadays it is getting a little scary, and we have to be careful with who we allow up in the live streams. But don't worry, you guys will all get your say. If you know the movie, if you remember it, and you want to give your views about it, certainly can. You can also give your grade and your rating, either out of 5 or out of 10 stars, whatever you choose from. So that's all coming up. And like I said, one more time on Friday, this coming Friday, I will put up a poll asking you basically 2 questions. Do you want me to do Red Dwarf, uh, on Wednesdays after I'm done uh, with the Greatest American Hero reviews, or do you want me to do it on my Friday? I don't have anything planned except for what you guys want. And if you want me to do Red Dwarf, I can do Red Dwarf early morning Fridays, on Friday mornings. I can do that for you guys. I just have to. That way, it still gives me a whole day of Wednesday. That's why I'm doing this now, because I don't like to do a lot of stuff on Wednesday. It's, the hump day for a reason. We're resting. But um, what I want to do is rest on that day. Thursday, when I do my Secrets of Isis and Shazam hour with Jay in the afternoon. That's not until 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time and 1 o'clock Central. So it still gives me time to watch Red Dwarf episode, and then by Friday morning or afternoon, depending on what time you guys like. I'm thinking of the morning, but you could also ask for me on a Friday afternoon to do it, and I don't mind doing it on Friday afternoon. I just have to make sure I do it before uh, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. He has his Walton stream, so he does run that on Friday nights, and I will make sure I make that because I'm a big fan of the Waltons. I like the Waltons. I did as a kid growing up. Had some great morality tips and everything. Yeah, it's good TV. So I definitely check it out. Anyway, okay, so my review of this episode, the best desk scenario, I think that it was a good episode. The fact was is there was three sub stories, right? Ralph was being promoted as a vice principal of his high school because of the good work he had done with the kids in the previous 7 episodes, uh, especially with Tony Villicana, and Rhonda, who was the smartest one in the class, of course, played by Faye Grant. Then you had Pam, who all of a sudden gets to become a junior partner of her city's lawyer firm and gets to add her name in there. And then, oh my God. I'll read that in a minute. And then Bill, Maxwell, uh, he's been fighting Carlisle since Carlisle first appeared. He's been fighting him because he's the bureau chief of the LA office, but Bill wants to become the head of it. But then when he realizes one of his friends dies of old age, a fellow agent, you would say, he feels that mortality. He's like, oh my God, here my friend died. Everybody I knew dropping like flies. What am I supposed to do? He gets a real sense of vulnerability. And you don't see that very often from Bill. Uh, Not this early, in the first season. You probably will see it a lot more. Just this is just spoilers, a little bit, little hints, but you will see it a lot more towards the middle of season 2, and you'll definitely see it in season 3. So that he gets a little more sensitive. So you guys get used to him being a hard butt, for this, last episode of season 1 because he'll get more into his character. Now, Sir Lemon said Mikey will also run a poll as follows: don't you want me, baby? Yes or no? Nice one, Sir Lemon. Nice one. Hey, we can get funny around here too, Even at wow. Even at 12:35 in the morning. Woohoo! East Coast, man. Okay. So yes, I thought it was a great episode. I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4.2 out of 5. So I gave it like an A minus. It was a pretty good episode. I mean, it broke down uh, good things that can happen to Ralph, to Pam, Bill feeling vulnerable. He needs a mission. Then they find out, Pam's head partner is involved in the mob, and so Bill wants to help. He wants to expose and get rid of this guy, and hopefully Pam can still keep her position. Of course, I don't think that happened, but you know, but that's how that was. Anyway, so yeah, so said one more time. So 4.2 out of 5 stars, and I gave it an A minus grade. It was very good. Not a bad episode. No, it wasn't awesome, great, 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 like A, plus or straight A material, but it was good enough. It was good enough to end the first season, and it kind of did leave a cliffhanger towards season two, episode one, which is the next one we'll cover next Wednesday morning. And let me go ahead and take a look at that and see which one that was. Just going back here to going back to the cast and crew. There we go. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So in season two, episode one, we have a title called The 200-mile-an-hour Fastball. And that premiered on Wednesday, November 4th, 1981. So, after the last episode, the one we just mentioned, premiered May 13th, 1981, we had to wait a number of months over that period of time. And when we did, we got to early November of 1981, and that was the first one that became available, was the 200-mile-an-hour fastball of season 2, episode 1. And it did get a 7.5 out of 10 from IMDb, so it is pretty good. It's rated, and it has a lot to do with baseball season and Ralph getting an opportunity, a chance to pitch in a major baseball game. In this case, I think it is the World Series, or a game that leads into a championship. It's a very good episode. A lot to do, like I said, has a lot to do with baseball, but it is very good. It is a very good time and a good title for the episode itself. So that'll be next week, season 2, episode 1. And we will do that again at 12:01 a.m. Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time, which is 11:01 p.m. night before, which is Tuesday. So, yeah, I know it's going to be a weird thing with this, and like I said, I may just decide to go ahead and do mornings for Friday, but I will leave that up to you guys. I'll put that poll there and let you know. Okay, so before we end this session this evening, morning, afternoon, nighttime, wherever you are in the world, let's go ahead and say a quick prayer and just try to adjust myself here. Okay. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful thing we call social media. We do appreciate all of our closest family, friends, and relatives and acquaintances who enjoy our streams, they enjoy our webcams, and they're there to basically have a good time. And we know the world is a tough place, but at least we know that 172 subscribers to our channel enjoy being a part of a wonderful channel that myself, my beautiful wife Suzanne, my wonderful brother from another mother, Jay Aldridge, and of course our wonderful master moderator, Sir Lemon Pie, and one of our best friends, our young friends, Sci-Fi Sif Dan, uh, and of course JPR, PH1, who's participated being a part of our chat this evening. Appreciate you, sir, for being here. We do appreciate everyone that comes to our chats and our live streams, and we do try to recognize every single person. Uh, they're all special. Every man, woman that we meet, they're all special people, and we want to be there for them. Uh, may your Son Jesus Christ continue to protect us from the evil one. May your wonderful daughter, the beautiful Virgin Mary, give us the wisdom, the strength, and the courage to get through every day. And as my beautiful wife Suzanne always says, leave it in God's hands whenever you feel a problem or a difficulty and you feel you can't solve it. Let God take care of it for you. Leave it in His hands. So, with all that, and in God's name, we pray, and in Jesus Christ, and in Virgin Mary, and the Holy Spirit, amen and amen. And amen from Lemon Pie. And Jim's Landscape LLC #1 Commodore Productions. Hello, Jim. We're just finishing up the webcam. And yeah, so, all right. Well, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Again, one more time, don't forget, tomorrow on Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock Central, we will be doing our live stream of the two wonderful Saturday morning DC shows, both The Secrets of Isis and, of course, Shazam. And both of those will be season 1, episode 8 from each series. And we'll go ahead and do our review and give you some information as we do for trivia, goofs, filming locations, and the like. And we'll also give you, of course, our grade and out of number of stars. Now, I normally do it out of 5, but I know that Jay usually does it out of 10. Either way, it works. We still do have 6 likes. Thank you so much, you wonderful people, for giving us 6 likes on this channel. Yes, please don't forget to hit the like button. Please make sure you share this with all your friends and neighbors and your family. Please also hit the subscribe button. We're only 28 persons away from reaching 200, which is our first goal. And we will have a small party for all 200 when we do reach that amount. Also, please hit the notification bell, the ding, 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 and make sure you mark down all notifications. So then that way you can see our webcam videos. You'll know when they come up. You'll know when our live stream and our open panel, open chat live streams that come up on the weekends right now, Saturdays and Sundays, you'll know when those come and when they start. And for those that are special to our panels, you know that you will get a notification. You will get a link privately to be sent to you so that you can come and join us. So yes, that's what we got coming up this week. Oh, and don't forget to promote Gorilla's channel that he does for mine. Gorilla is doing his cringe stock. Well, first he's doing Justified. That's a series that used to be on HBO. He's doing that with Resolute Germ on Wednesday evening. I'm not sure the time. Normally he starts right around 8 or 9 Eastern. So right around that time. And then on Thursday, he's doing a cringe stock. And the cringe stock this week, I think it's a surprise. So we'll wait to see what that is for this coming Thursday night. Also, don't forget Resolute Germ does his Nerd Roundtable in the evening. So make sure you check that out. And then on Friday, Resolute Germ, myself, Pleasant Valley Picker, who is PvP, Jim, and sometimes Sif Dan, will all be there to do the Waltons review on Friday night. So make sure you guys check that out as well. And Lemon Pie just put up the link to Gorilla. There's Gorilla's website is all set up there from Sir Lemon. Resolute Germ. Thank you, Lemon Pie. Appreciate that. Thank you, Sir Lemon. And Jim said hello and then okay, bye. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, Jim. Yeah, I'm not going to be up too much longer. As soon as this is done, I'm actually going to go to bed. Or try to, anyway. Let's see. Yeah, so thank you, Sir Lemon, for doing that. Okay, so one more time on behalf of Sir Lemon Pie, our master moderator, Jim's Landscape LLC #1, Commodore Productions. Don't forget, he just put out his Repair 4 trailer. The actual Repair 4 fan film should come out on June 3rd. So check it out. Make sure that you hit notification for sure on his website. Also, don't forget when Gorilla and Resolute Germ do their shows that are coming up in the next couple days. JPR PH1, we thank you so much for being here, sir. It's great to see you. Also, Sci-Fi Sifdan, our wonderful one of our co-hosts of some of our panels. We'd love to have him up there because he's a young fresh face. He's got a young voice and he's very knowledgeable. And don't forget to go to his website because he does crossovers of different sci-fi franchises. Like for example, he did a thing with Star Trek and SG-1, and he's done a recent one too, two other franchises. So yeah, please make sure you check out his spot as well. Okay. Yeah, Sifdan is young, yet he just got a Mo Howard haircut. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, like me. Uh, I'm Curly Joe. See, I'm Curly Joe. He's Mo Howard. Yeah, that's how it is. Alrighty. So, thank you everyone for coming today. We got 6 likes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's great. My wife thanks you too. Our cats thank you. Everybody loves you guys. Now we just need Larry. Yes. Well, I think that Jim Landscape, Sir Lemon, he might have said he could be Larry. Maybe. I don't know. If not him, more than likely Jay. But we'd have Jay Aldrich. But we'll have to see what happens with that. That or it could be Jason, who is, Sci-Fi Nation. I think he wants to be Larry. I'm not sure why, but but anyway. So thank you everyone for coming. We appreciate you, your patronage, your support, your love, your prayers, to make this MikeySuzeFour channel the best possible channel on YouTube. And of course, in the great words of Mr. Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert fame, he was my favorite nerd, wore the glasses, was the best critic of the two of them. I'm sorry, Roger Ebert, you weren't the best. Gene was. Rest in peace, Gene. On behalf of Mr. Siskel, the aisle is now closed. Thank you, everyone. We will see you Thursday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern, for the Secrets of ISIS and Shazam Hour with Mikey and Jay. Talk to you then. Good night, Sir Lemon.